Alright? Heard a lot of you in here have been talking shit about me. So I just thought I'd come down here, set the record straight. I'm gonna fight anyone in here that I want. I'm gonna show you what I'm capable of. So I'm gonna fight that guy. What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. So this is probably going to be a pretty short review because what is there to say? I mean, this is just like when we beat Morecambe last month. There's nothing really to talk about here. This is a very simple game that we managed to win because the other team is awful. That's kind of it. We've only been able to beat the awful teams recently. I know West Ham just beat Arsenal and there's a joke to be made about that. But you look at Wolves, you look at West Ham, you look at Morecambe, you look at Southampton. Those are the only teams we're beating. And they're all terrible. And you could make the argument, because Brighton got crushed 7-0, you can make the argument that they're just as bad, and yet we couldn't even beat them. We lost to them twice. So it's really just the bottom of the barrel. And Southampton is literally the bottom of the barrel in the Premier League. You can't get any worse than that. They might go down in history as the worst Premier League team of all time. So winning against them at home 4-0, really not that big of a deal. Should have been more than 4, to be perfectly honest. The amount of chances that we missed. And all I can think is, if we're playing a better team than Southampton, we don't get all those chances. We missed how many today? I don't even want to look up the stats because it's probably embarrassing how many clear-cut chances that we missed. Our expected goals or whatever, it should be 7 because we had so many that should have been in the back of the net that we didn't put away. So this is not a, yes, we won. Like, it might be enough of a confidence booster to get us past Leicester. Hopefully enough of a boost to get us past Copenhagen, because how embarrassing would that be to go out in the first round of playoffs in the Conference League? And that's a tough draw based on what we could have gotten. That's probably one of the tougher teams to face. We got them first round. You just have to get past that. But based on how we're playing, who knows? Copenhagen are not a terrible team like some of the teams we face in the Conference League. So there's a good chance that we might slip up against them. But this win might just give us enough confidence to get past them. Again, enough to get past Leicester. It's funny because I was talking about I wouldn't be surprised if we were out of the top 7, basically out of Europe by the end of March. And then I looked at the games we have in March, and actually it's not that tough of a run. But we actually only have 2 games in March. So even if we do slip up against Leicester, which there's still a decent chance of because they've not been as bad as Southampton, they have a chance to possibly pop up with a result, and then Arsenal will probably beat us. So with that in mind, my prediction of being outside of Europe by the end of March probably doesn't hold new water. Could be by the end of April. But let's just quickly run through this because there's not really much to say. Most everybody had either a decent game or just an ineffective game. So first of all, Jorgensen made a couple of good saves. Overall was fine, but I still don't really trust him. I still do kind of trust Sanchez more than him just because he has more experience. And that's what's sad, is I feel like I trust Sanchez more than Jorgensen. I shouldn't feel like that. I should not feel like Sanchez is the better option. Like last year when it was him and Petrovic, I felt like Petrovic was the better option by far. And now this year, I truly don't know who to trust. Gusto is back at right back again today, which again makes me think that James is probably close to being injured, more than likely. The fact that he's not playing in some of these matches, and he did fine. Nothing really tested him today defensively. He was playing a little bit more of like the right side of a back 3 than he was the inverted fullback role, so not entirely out of position, but still not the position that I'm used to seeing him succeed in. But I thought he did okay. Didn't really make any mistakes. It was fine from him. Tosin, Colwill, both of them did okay. Neither of them really struggled today because it was not that tough of a game. There was the one moment where Jorgensen made the great save from the free header at the back post. Colwill, once again, just losing track of his man. It's typical for him. It's terrible at tracking runners. He lets people get in behind him all the time. No idea where they are, so cross to the back post. He's not there. Oh, he's behind me now, so I can't see him. You're supposed to be able to see everything as a defender. You're supposed to open your body up and see where he is, or head on a swivel, see where he is. And he doesn't. It's easy for that to happen. It's happened multiple times this year. Kukure on the left side, inverting in. Did fine today. It's one of the games that he is able to succeed well in because he's very high energy, works hard, puts a lot of pressure. Teams like Southampton struggle to deal with a player like that. Caicedo in the midfield, I thought handled it fine, which no surprise, he should be able to against Southampton. I thought his passing today looked a lot more comfortable as well, and a lot of that is just down to the fact that they were sitting so deep against us, so we were allowed to play. Enzo, once again, coming from deep midfield into the attack, did fine. Didn't start well. First half was pretty poor, but as the game went on, Felt like he kind of grew into it a little bit more and looked a bit more comfortable, kind of what we saw from him earlier this season. On the whole of it, I thought it was a fine match from him. Sancho on the right side. To be fair to him, he's not typically on the right side, so I'll give him that benefit of the doubt, but he was probably one of our poorer players today. Like, as much time as our attack had to be on the ball and had chances to create, there were several moments where I felt like he just was not doing anything with it. Felt like he had no ideas. He kept going backwards with it. Not the same type of drive and desire to go at players and take them on that I've seen from him in the past. So I don't know if it was just being on the opposite side messed him up today, but he's still just not showing anything that he showed earlier on when he first came in to this club. And Nkunku, once again on the left side, thankfully not playing a false nine. And I do think that's better for the team to have a much more energetic, pacey player like Neto up top instead of one that is a little bit more slow paced, a little bit more technical on the ball rather than energetic. Having somebody that is so busy, it helps to have that up there. It helps to put that kind of pressure on the defense, and Nkunku just doesn't do that. Coming in from the left side, obviously he got himself the goal, he got himself an assist, so that's good to see, but his overall play still is not impressive, I would say. I still feel like there's just this lack of energy and pace that you need for a Maresca side, and once again, that Felix could have brought. Truth be told, I probably should stop just hammering this home because nothing's going to change. Felix, I don't think, is going to come back and play for Maresca because it feels like he doesn't like Maresca and Maresca doesn't seem to like him for some reason. But every time I see Nkunku kind of get bodied off the ball too easily or get outpaced or he's behind the play, every time I see that, I just think Felix would not be doing all of that stuff. You know, he might get bodied off the ball because he's a little bit smaller, but he's clever enough to ride those challenges. He's clever enough to get out of those challenges, and he has enough pace to keep up with the rest of the players going forward. I just don't get it. I don't understand why Maresca didn't want to play Felix ever. Palmer in the middle, obviously our worst player today, and I think it's just a lack of confidence. And unfortunately, I think until Jackson comes back, we're not going to have the same Palmer. Teams know how to defend against him now, so they've marked him out of games, and there's nobody else in there that is taking the pressure off of him. Like it's just him. Fernandez, even when he steps in there, he's not really taking the pressure off. With Jackson in there, the energy that he has, the strength and speed that he has, he's causing problems for the defense, for the midfield. He's getting in there, he's mixing it up, he's providing an outlet for Palmer, and it just really shows once he went out, we have not had the same quality of attack. And something I tried to fight and defend him, and so many Chelsea fans, because he misses chances, are, oh, he's terrible, he's the worst striker we've ever had. This is what we miss without him. Does he need to finish? Absolutely. Do we need another striker to give him competition, to give him depth? Absolutely. And the fact that we didn't, and now we've got both of our strikers injured, obviously we're suffering even more because of that. But this is what Jackson brings, because without him, Palmer just doesn't have the time and space to do what he does well. He is marked out of games. He's now lacking confidence, so even in games against teams like Southampton, where they try to mark him out of the game, but he's too clever for them, and he gets into these good spaces. Now he doesn't have the confidence to bury these chances that he normally would be. He's snatching at them. He's not doing what he has so regularly done because he's just lost all of this confidence. And I blame a lot of that on the fact that several games now, Maresca has refused to go with a striker who is able to cause trouble for the defense and open up some space for Palmer. And on top of that, the transfer team for not bringing another striker that could open up that space for him. You've allowed your best player to lose all of his confidence because you've not tried to play to his strengths. You basically just said, oh, well, we'll just put Nkunku in there. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure he'll do fine. And he hasn't. He's done nothing to help the team, to help Palmer. And now our best player is playing like a shadow of his former self. Maybe he does need a rest. Maybe he does need a chance to come off the bench and create instead of trying to do stuff from the start. But we don't have the depth for that anymore. We don't have anybody. We don't have Felix to come on and take that spot. So he has to play. And we've put ourselves in that situation. And that's just the unfortunate truth of it. We just have to keep playing Palmer and hope he can play himself back into form because we don't have the affordability to just bench him and say, hey, come off the bench and make an impact. We don't have that capability right now because we don't have the depth past him to make that decision. And that is on the transfer team. That's on Maresca. That's just where we are. And I really hope he can find his way out of it, and I hope he can enjoy his football here again, because I would hate to see him go just because the transfer team and the coach didn't do their jobs to make sure that he was happy and he was enjoying himself here. That would really piss me off. I hope it would piss a lot of Chelsea fans off as well. Neto up top, I thought once again brought a lot of energy up there. Still lacks a little bit in that final third. Obviously gets himself a goal, which is nice. But there's just something about when he's driving down the line, because there are a couple times he kind of slides himself out wide to draw a defender with him, which is great. But then when he gets the ball out there, it doesn't feel like he's doing much with it anymore. And I feel like that's something that I'm just used to seeing from him. I'm used to seeing him pull out wide, get a defender one-on-one, drive down, beat him with pace and creativity, and get inside. And he doesn't feel like he has that confidence to do that anymore. It's not enough from him there. But at the very least, he's doing what we need a false nine to do, which is cause disruptions in the back line and open up spaces for other people. With all that being said, I will say he is our best option at false nine at the moment, which is good. I was worried we weren't going to find a false nine to replace Jackson for the next couple months. And finally, the subs that came on, first two were George and Dewsbury-Hall. Dewsbury-Hall just kind of felt like get some legs on the pitch. It's a little bit more energy because he's a bit fresher. I didn't really see much from him. Granted, I was not watching as intently as the second half wore on because the game was dead. But I was happy to see George get some minutes. And a couple of times that I did glance up and he got on the ball, obviously he got the assist for the fourth goal. He looks exciting. I don't understand why he's not getting more of a chance right now. I guess there's that you don't want to throw your young kids into this tough situation that we're currently in. And you don't want to drop the confidence of your starters by starting this 18-year-old kid over them. But I'm sorry, he's a better option at wing than Nkunku is, for sure. Seemingly Sancho, even at the moment. I would trust George over him right now because he's not in any good run of form. So it's good to see a young kid come in and have that sort of influence on the game. But I just don't know if Maresca's going to trust to start him over some of these first team guys and take away minutes from them. Next two, we saw Mugu come in for his first minutes and looked pretty shaky. This might just be recency bias, but I don't feel like I remember Santos making this shaky of an entrance when he first came into the team. Because I know Mugu is kind of in the same boat that Santos was when he first came in, where it's a young player who's not supposed to be here to start. He's going to be going on loan next season, but he doesn't look like he has the same levels as Santos from what I can see today. I don't understand why not bring back one of your loan players for the midfield. We needed more midfielders. We needed them because Lavia, we don't know when he's going to be back. We don't know how long he's going to be fit. So why not go get Santos or Ugachukwu, one of those two guys back in here so we at least have something, some sort of quality coming off the bench instead of this kid who's going to be going on loan probably to the second French league next season. I don't understand it. Achimpong came in for a few minutes as well, and it's good to see him back in the team a little bit. I don't know if we'll see much more of him because Fofana is back, James is back. Granted, both of them could be out soon because they have hamstrings of paper. So who knows if they're going to be back long term, but it was nice to just see Achimpong back in the team because we've not seen him for a little while. And then Moeke came on. He did have a decent chance off the corner to get himself a goal, basically, first touch. But outside of that, I don't really remember seeing much from him. I would like to see him as an option, though, just because we don't really have anything else up front. But I just don't expect Maresca to do that, because when you're in a bad run of form, you don't turn to the kids. You turn to the kids whenever you have a ton of injuries and you just have no other options. But frankly, we do still have options for the first team. It's just not great options, and they're all kind of in bad runs of form. Like I said, this is a bit of a shorter one than what I'm used to. This game is not really one to discuss long in depth because frankly, this should have been a win, and it was a win. We got the job done. I don't expect this to carry on into the next match, really. No team is going to be as bad as Southampton was, pretty sure. But there is at least the feeling of, thank goodness I didn't have to throw anything and break something today, because I would have. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the game today. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. We can talk about, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. Also check out the channel. We have a lot of reviews on here as well as some Let's Plays. So check those out if you have time. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.